Embassy or the US. It is also an attack on Bosnia and Herzegovina.
The suspect is now being treated in hospital and police are waiting to interview him. Emma Hayward, Al Jazeera.
Mexico's two most powerful drug gangs are caught up in a fight over disputed territory. It's taken place in the border area of Jalisco and Zacatecas states. Raney reports.
Driving through an area that has become a new front in a war between Mexico's two most powerful drug cartels. This area north of the relatively safe city of Guadalajara, Mexico's second largest, has seen bloody street battles between the Zetas and an alliance led by the Sinaloa cartel. The Zetas, who began on Mexico's Gulf Coast, have already established a stronghold in Zacatecas and are now pushing into what has long been considered Sinaloa turf near the Pacific coast in the state of Jalisco. This stretch of highway is relatively calm in daylight hours, but once the sun sets, rival gangs set up roadblocks where they search people's cars to see if they're trying to take weapons into their territory. One night last month, the town of Huejucar saw an explosion of gunfire, the likes of which had not been seen before. A local rancher shows us how Zetas gang members shot up the downtown on September 23rd. Carlos Rivas says these bullet holes came from huge guns.
When the gunfire broke out, my wife's kids had to take cover. They had to hide behind that building.
None of the townspeople died that night, but locals say it's unclear if gangsters dragged off bodies or not. What they did leave behind was fear and uncertainty. The town's annual fair, complete with a beauty contest, was canceled because organizers were afraid violence might break out. Humberto MARQUEZ is the official town recorder. He's lived here all his 72 years and has never seen the area so violent.
The town has become a place where these two gangs clash.
Huejucar is just one of many towns that have fallen victim. Other towns have fared worse. In Florencia, residents witnessed a day-long battle between the gangs in May, and their mayor was later killed. And in nearby Bolaños, 18 people were killed in gunfights. Locals say dozens of battles have gone unreported in the press, and many communities have seen their police run out of town or bought off. Authorities say these towns are no longer safe for outsiders. There has been little government presence, but Mexican Marines did break up a Zetas training camp in this area in September. As we drove back out of this disputed territory, we tried to talk to the federal police about the increasing violence. They refused to be interviewed, but told us off camera there was definitely a war on and that we should get back to the safety of Guadalajara before nightfall. Raney, Al Jazeera, Jalisco, Mexico.
This is Al Jazeera, and these are the stories making headlines. A high tide expected within hours will further test flood defences in Thailand's capital, Bangkok. Parts of the north and west of the city remain inundated, but the Prime Minister insists the water levels could recede within a week. It's the worst flooding in the country for nearly 60 years. The Australian government will intervene in a dispute between the airline QANTAS and its staff. The carrier is planning to ground all of its planes over the bitter labour dispute. The move could cost the company around $21 million a day. Alan Joyce, the CEO of QANTAS, just made this statement.
Because the pilots, ramp and baggage and catering staff and licensed engineers are essential to the running of the airline, the lockout makes it necessary for us to ground the fleet. However, I cannot wait until Monday to do so. This is a very tense environment. Individual reactions to the lockout decision may be unpredictable. We're always conservative in our approach, and for this reason, as a precautionary measure, we have decided to ground the QANTAS international and domestic fleets immediately.
We're getting reports of a suicide attack in the Afghan capital, Kabul. 3 civilians and several NATO troops are reported to be among the casualties. We'll bring you more on this as soon as we get it. The International Criminal Court says it won't make a deal with Muammar Gaddafi's fugitive son. SAIF al-Islam is wanted on charges of crimes against humanity. Once one of the most prominent faces of the former Libyan government, SAIF al-Islam has been on the run for several weeks. The ICC's chief prosecutor has urged him to turn himself in.
He said he's innocent, and he will prove to the judges he's innocent, and then he's more concerned about what will happen after, if he's considered innocent by the court. So we explained to him the legal